What are you supposed to do when one of the worst things possible happens, right? I just forgot to put the little cap on the chicken water, and just sat there, water going straight through. What am I supposed to do with that? Well, I put the cap on. That's what I did. But that's not what we're talking about. So what I'm talking about is the fact that you hear everyone, maybe not everyone, but relatively everyone talk about how they want to be self-sufficient, right, on their homestead. That's the purpose of homesteading, is to do everything yourself, right? And that's all fine and dandy. But what happens, I hit my head, when the worst thing possible happens, right? Now what's that? Thirsty birds, thirsty birds. Being some of the wildest. Wow. Back here, back. So the worst thing that could happen when you are, and let's highlight the word self-sufficient. What if you go down? I've had this conversation before where I've gotten sick and I had to rely on my family to help me. And again, fine and dandy, because technically you would think are a part of self. Well, it happened again, y'all. It happened again. And it hurt. What are y'all looking at? I'm over here. Turn that. I got an ear infection. It put me down all weekend. Literally. It started Wednesday and it got worse. Thursday night, my ear this ear swelled up. And I couldn't hear anything. And it was bleeding. It's bad. So Friday morning I went to the doctor. And now I did, while it was starting to happen, I did start with oil, all the homeopathic remedies, because that's what we like to do. We like to do that stuff. Am I fucking up? It's probably the inside lens again. Stand by. Okay, better. That's how muggy it is right now in South Carolina. My water cut off. Hold on. It's hot, but we've actually had some rain, which is great. Which leads into where I'm going with this. Are we fogging up again? I think we're good. That inside lens, I don't know. This camera's had a lot of use. I went down. Homeopathic remedies, tried them, and it got worse. Swelled up, couldn't hear, bleeding, lost hearing. Went to the doctor, I'm on antibiotics. Water's done. Yeah, I'm just trying to talk here. I will tell you, I had to replace this cap because the other one broke. And honestly, the replacement cap is way better than the caps that come with it. They're like better built. They're a lot more sturdy. And they screw on a lot better and seal better. So I might buy another one for the other. You see that? They're a gnat. For the other water. Watch these birds right here. They get crazy. Crazy, watch them. Back here. Back here. Back here. Yeah. Pet me. Rude. I'll get you back. So like I said, I'm on antibiotics. I'm on the mend. I still can't hear well. I have gotten zero sleep all weekend so I had to take Friday off because of work because I went to the doctor and it was painful. So I literally spent all weekend in the bed, sitting in the bed. I couldn't even lay down. It was rough, still rough. And I had to go back to work this morning, which was not fun, but that's where I'm getting at. Like, yeah, I'm doing better. You can see I'm doing better. I'm doing a lot more outside. But I went down, right? But if you want to be self-sufficient, what happens if you go down? Other than relying on your family, and I relied on my family. That's not the problem, but therein lies one of our obstacles. So I asked my wife and my children to help me move the birds because they need to be moved every day. They need fresh water every day. It's hot, it's muggy. They need food every day because they are eating a bunch. They're at the end of their term and they're just eating. Okay, so I asked my wife and my kids to help me. So you saw me fill up those 2 waters. They hold about 5 pounds, or 5 gallons, not pounds. 5 gallons of water. These birds about to go crazy again. We fogging again? Man, that's ridiculous. Back to this, back! Like freedom! Stop it. Well, I just told you how that cap on top goes on and seals a lot better. Well, they're also super tight. They're heavy. 5 pounds of water. I'm not good at, I don't know, a gallon of 5 pounds. I keep saying pounds. 5 gallons of water. I think a gallon of water is what, like 10 pounds. So one of those waters maybe like 50 pounds, roughly. I don't know. I can look it up, but I'm going to in a second. Well, my wife, she's a little lady. My children are little children. They couldn't do it. They did their best. Even these hold 5. This is 30 pounds. This holds 30 pounds. Gotta go get feed tomorrow. So that's heavy. For me, it's not. It's not that heavy. Honestly, because of the little hanger things I have on the waters, they kind of hurt my hands a little bit. But these 30-pound feeders aren't that bad. But for them, it's rough, it's tough, they can't do it. So I had to get out and help, of course, and then I just went back and laid in bed and dealt with the pain. And it's just like shoot nuggets. So what worked for me is not necessarily going to work sufficiently or self-sufficiently, because when you're self-sufficient, if you go down and it's working for you, it might not work for who's helping you and yourself, your family. So, I mean, I could have called my buddy up, had him come and do it, but then he had to drive over here, and it's like, I don't want it to be that way. And also with this garden, we've had so much rain, I couldn't get out here. I don't think I'm gonna get to harvest these San Marzanos. Look, it's rough. It's like everything is just falling over. They had such good quality everything. I've tried to keep them pruned, try to keep them up. I've got a nice Abe Lincoln right there.
Did you say Abe Lincoln?
We've gotten a lot of cucumbers already. That's great. We've got some fridge cucumbers. And I'm going to say something a little controversial about refrigerator cucumbers. I'm not a fan. They just don't. It's because it gets cooler quicker when you put them in the refrigerator. Like I did to follow the instructions. It just doesn't taste as pickly, no matter how long I leave them in there. But I digress. So nobody's been able to come out here. I haven't been able to do it. And so therefore, that's the myth of self-sufficiency. But not really. Because you just have to find the sufficient ways in which to do things that the people around you are able to do them as well. And that way it's not just on you. So with the waterers, they make other waterers. I had the buckets hanging in there, but the little red caps, I'll show you. Okay, I won't show you. They're in the barn out there. There's little red cups on them, but the birds just knocked them around, lost a lot of water, stuff like that. But I was watching Jason from Sort of Land again, and he had those Bell saved waterers that again runs a tube. The things from Premier One, I think is where it's from. So I'm going to invest in some of those, because if I go down again, it's easier for them to fill a bucket up than have to try to do it with a cap. They can do it a little bit at a time or whatever, or maybe the birds won't drink as much and maybe it'll last longer, things like that. So with a garden, that's just going to be one of those things. I'm going to spend a lot of time in that garden to get it back, and that's fine. That's not that big of a deal. But the birds, because they're living creatures that need to be moved every day, I need to make sure that whoever's helping me can do it. Even if we go on vacation, same thing. This chicken tractor was the first chicken tractor. It's got the young birds in it right now, the younger ones, the 1 week younger than the older ones, if that makes sense. That was made out of rough cut lumber. It's heavy. Chassie's like, I can't move that thing. It's understandable. For me, not that tough. This one was made out of just regular lumber from like Lowe's, that actually was made out of 1x6s, 2x6s that I had ripped, made 2x3s, and made that whole thing. And it's super light. It's very easy. I like it better than that thing. Okay, but I can't afford to buy all the stuff to make another one, so that's gonna have to do. But the plan is to probably put that one out of commission in the next year and build another one, maybe even 2 more, because I do want to bring in the turkeys. Okay, so think about that whenever you're going into this. Think about what you're doing. Good enough. What does Joel Southton say? I wrote it down. Hold on. Joel Southton says, well, that's not it. Good enough is perfect, which is true. That was good enough at the time, and it was perfect. Now we have to make something even better. That one is good enough now, and it's way perfecter. So that's where we need to get at. Think about that whenever you're making and building things. What are you going to be doing if it works, does it work for you? But will it work for the people around you helping you? Okay? If you're the man and you're building this stuff, make sure that your wife and your children are able to do the same thing. That's where we're at right now. Because if I want this to continue to work out, I'm gonna need help. It can't just all be on me, because sometimes I get off later, I go to work super early in the morning, and I need the chickens moved relatively, like when the kids wake up earlier in the morning, like say 8:30, in the morning. When I'm not here, having their help makes things move a lot more sufficiently, and that's what matters. I am done. I am sweating again. It's hot. My ear hurts. Appreciate y'all hanging out.